Hey everybody, welcome to another GG.CO.UK video with me, Daryl Carter. It's time of the week again to look ahead to Saturday's racing. A big happy new year to you all. We're looking at Sandown and Ayr this week. The 150 at Ayr is the first race on the box. And a Bello head to market around 5 to 2 for Venetia Williams. Moonlighter in its second fave, off the mark 147. I think that's going to be tough, carrying 12 stone 2 in these conditions, providing it's on. I think it's going to be a very difficult task for Nick Williams' Moonlighter. Early DeLimo, Derrabin and Hollywoodian are all next in the market, with San Benedetto out at 10s to 1 bar. Tricky little race, I'll be honest with you. I'm not one to get really stuck into Ibello, to be honest. It's a slight concern that he's now £22 higher than his last winning mark. Keeps finding 1-2 good, so that is a slight worry for me. Although he is the right favourite in this race, I think. I finished second to Sky Pirate last time out. I think Sky Pirate's going to have a good chance in the Grand Annual come Cheltenham Festival. I think he's got a lot more to come over 2 miles. I think he's been running over the wrong trip the whole time. So hopefully he will go well there. But so the form is, it does look okay. You know, he's got some decent form in defeat. Amula Gold is a smart and proven horse. And Canelo obviously can't do no wrong at the moment. It keeps winning races. So his form in defeat is probably worthy of the rises in the weights. He needs to improve again to win off this mark of 140. He looks the most likely winner to me. He looks the most likely, the right favourite. Moonlight I can have carrying 12 stone 2. If this is on, it's, after a couple of races, it's going to really cut up at Sandown. So I would just be concerned about lumping that big weight around for me. Early DeLimo and Derrabin for Gary Moore are both closely matched on their run here last time. I couldn't have the pair of them. I thought that was a weak enough race there. Perhaps San Benedetto is worth a mention. This horse looked, for all he wanted to drop back to 2 miles at Newbury on good ground last time. Just faded late on and clattered the fence. This is his first start over 2 miles for quite some time, and it's his first start on soft ground for quite some time. He is a course winner. He is a winner, sorry, on soft ground, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue. He's dropped all the way in the weights to a mark of 143. I think he's got a good chance under Harry Cobden at 10 to 1, but it's not a race I'm going to get involved in, to be honest with you. Ibello could quite easily hose up off this mark of 140, but there's just not enough in there for me to think that he's worthy of that rating as of yet. The 205 at Ayr is the next race. Again, it's another tricky race. Probably one I'm not going to get stuck into. I want to be honest with you. Evander is in at the top of the market, but he's also engaged in the 115 at Sandown. So this market could really flip and change around. The one thing I will say about this race, though, is Johnny Sofa does save his best for Carlisle. So I'll just bear that in mind. He is a really nice horse, Johnny Sofa, but Carlisle is definitely his favourite hunting ground. Flowery is interesting. Step back up in trips, definitely going to suit. Ran really nicely behind Drum Connor Lad off a mark of 139 last time. Off the same mark here, and had Clan Legend in behind. I think the step up in trips definitely going to suit. And I don't think there's a lot of negatives against Flowery's chances. For all, he is now on a career high mark of 139. The one that is interesting in here is Charmont. He's £5 better off with Clan Legend for a win here back in March over 2 miles. The 2 miles 4 should be okay. He's got excuses for his last couple of runs. He's been hampered. He was hampered last time at Newcastle, and the ground probably was a bit too quick for him. Back on soft ground today. You know, it's whether he's on the going day or not. He's back down to his last winning mark of 136. His jumping can leave something to be desired, but it's a tricky race. Again, not one I'm going to be getting involved in, unfortunately. The 225 is the next at Sandown, and this is the Tolworth Hurdle, Grade 1, a cracking race. Right, let's slow down a bit. Meteor at the top of the market. He ran a very good time figure at Ascot. He won by 5.5 lengths from the outside of the field today, Tile Tapper. He ran a very good circuit time. In fact, in comparison to Buzz on the same card, who won off a mark of 136, he was only a fraction slower over the whole circuit, but quicker free out to the finish. I think he's got a big chance here, Meteor. He could be much better than this mark of 142. He's only had the 2 starts. He's highly rated 88 on the flat. He's a really nice horse for Harry Fry. I was going to put this horse up as an anti-post bet because there was no column on New Year's Eve, but the 5 to 2 went as I was writing it, so we scrapped the anti-post bet, and we've missed the price on him, to be honest with you. He's 11 to 8 now, best price. I think it's going to take some beating. Now, let's look away from the favourite, see if we can take him on. Gallis Mikalo is going to be popular for a lot of people after her run at over course and distance behind Benson. I think Benson is a very smart horse, and I think he is very well handicapped, still off a mark of 137. He went up next time at Ascot and ran an absolute blinder from 3 out to the finish, to finish where he did in that race at Ascot. It's a really strong race. But I think Gallis Mikalo was a little bit flattered by her finishing position in second. I thought Benson and Mr. Coffee, who finished first and third, had plenty to do from the rear of the field that day. And I thought Gallis Mikalo was in the right position. And the fourth, Rosie and Millie, who runs on today, I thought she was better than the Bear Result rather than Gallis Mikalo being better than the Bear Result, given the fourth, Rosie and Millie, was chasing down an early runaway leader. So I just thought Gallis Mikalo might have been a little bit flattered by her finishing position there. The numbers, the speed figures that she recorded that day suggest that may well be the case. But she's a nice improving type, and I'm certainly not writing her off at all. Do Your Job is an interesting runner for Michael Scudamore, right? This horse surely brings the strongest level of form with his listed second behind Clandinabo Lad last time. Clandinabo Lad went on to finish second in the Kennel Gate next time and chased home My Drogo, who looks a pretty smart horse for the Skeltons. Previous to that, he'd beaten Kadzan by 9.5 lengths. Kadzan may well have needed the run that day, but Kadzan bolted up off a mark of 129 on handicap debut. Do Your Job has clocked some really good figures, notably at Haydock. At Haydock, when he was second to Clandinabo Lad, he did too much too soon on the front end. He was actually 9 seconds faster than Warlord, who won the 2 mile free handicap on the card. He was the final circuit was 9 seconds faster, and he was actually 10 seconds faster than Main Fact's final circuit, who ran over 3 miles. At the second to last flight, Do Your Job was 10 seconds ahead of Warlord's race. So, and Warlord is rated around 138. So I do think this Do Your Job is an improving type. I think he has got a lot more to come. And I'm not entirely convinced that Meteor is going to get his own way out in front. It'll be interesting to see how the tactics are played out here. But I do think Do Your Job is the one I might play in an angle without the favourite Meteor at the moment. Shake Him Up Harry is a lovely horse. I'm really disappointed they're actually going to ruin his handicap mark of 130 because he's a little bit better than that. And he just didn't stay last time over in that corresponding race I was talking about, won by Warlord. He just didn't stay to 2 miles 3. And he's got an interesting future. Smurfy Enki is a horse I've got a little bit of a soft spot for after seeing him bolt up on his bumper debut at Wincanton by 18 lengths. He was really impressive that day. Not so good on maiden hurdle debut at Chepstow behind See a Lot More Business, but really stepped up at Plumpton. He's another one on an upward curve. He's got a fantastic chance. And I think Tile Tapper and the Oliver Sherwood horse will both be better over further going forward. So a really fascinating race. I think Do Your Job around 6 to 1. I think I might try and play him as a little bit of a without the favourite market. Maybe. We've had a notable non-runner in this race, by the way. Admiral has come out, and that also brings down the each-way play to 7, 2 places only. So a little bit disappointed. If you can find 3 places, if any bookmakers are trying to offer a promotion for the new year, then do that. But a really good race nonetheless. At the moment, I'm going to be with Do Your Job, just at the prices. Although I very much respect Meteor, I think he could be a very, very smart horse. So perhaps a bit silly to try and take him on. So I'm going to try and find the without market and see what price we can get there. In the 240 at Ayr, this is a race I am going to have a bet in, and I'm going to back up with Illegal Model, who I felt was given far too much to do in dire conditions at Sandown last time out, off a mark of 132. He's been dropped to pound, beaten 6 3/4 lengths. Did best of those held up at the rear of the field. It was really terrible conditions, and I think across the 2 days, I think there was only 2 or 3 horses that even managed to hit the frame from the rear of the field, one of those being Benson. So I do think Illegal Model has got a bit more to come, and I'm willing to give him another chance. This is a much easier race in terms of depth of quality. Better Get Along is a horse that I quite like, and Port Storm did really well, dropped back in trip last time. He's back up to 3 miles now, and I just think that he wants a little bit shorter. I think he wants 2.5 and not 3. So I'm quite happy to take him on. Happy to take Better Get Along on, who's getting on now. He's on a fair handicap mark, but I think Illegal Model is an improving 7-year-old for Charlie Longston, who's got a lot more to come. So Illegal Model in the 240 will certainly be going on the column. The 3 o'clock is the Veterans Handicap Chase, a cracking race every single year. A great race for these older horses to make sure they continue to see, for the fans to continue to see them. There's a few horses in here that I really love, and this should be a watching brief for me. I do think JPEG will be ready first time up for Anthony Honeyball here. Be ready for this race for Anthony Honeyball. He's back down to a mark of 132, which he won last year off. Ben Godfrey takes off £7. I know that they've targeted this race. I think they're going to be prominent and ridden aggressively in this race. I do really like Theatre Guide, actually. He's a horse that I've got a lot of time for. I just absolutely love him, and he ran a cracker at Warwick last time out behind Potter's Legend. That form is well worthy of him having a say at the finish here. So Theatre Guide would probably be a tentative selection, but it's definitely going to be a watching race for me. And nonetheless, in the 3:15 at Ayr, this is a good race, but Christ, we don't know who's going to run. Late Romantic is engaged in another race at Sandown at 3 o'clock. There's 3 running out the handicap: Strong Economy, Sutton Manor and Manetti, and Taking Risks heads the market, lumping round 11 stone 12 on heavy ground at Ayr at the age of 12. So for me, it's a complete non-starter, that race. The 3:35 is the last race on the card. It's one of my strongest fancies of the day. I really like Monsieur Lecoq for this race. This horse, on the bare face of it, looks like he's been out of form since running second to Not So Sleepy at Ascot in December last year. But he hasn't really been out of form, because he has run in a Grade 1 at Leopardstown over 2 miles, where he finished 7th behind Honeysuckle. He's then ran 5th of 5th, well beaten, over 2.5 miles in a Grade 2 Game Spirit Chaser, Game Spirit at Fontwell. He's then gone over fences where he caught the eye. He went straight in my notebook for novice chasing on this day, back in October, on good ground. The ground that was too quick for him. He caught the eye there. He finished 4 for 7, beaten 22 lengths in the end, just didn't stay the trip. And then he's gone over to France and run over 2.5 again. He drops back to 2 miles today for the first time. He's back in a handicap. He's £5 higher, including Chester Williams' claim, than when second in the Imperial Cup here. His form figures at Sandown really 2 and 1, and I think he's got a massive chance. The form of his Ascot second, when last seen in the handicap behind Not So Sleepy, could not have worked out any better. Not So Sleepy is £22 higher, and Monsieur Lecoq was attempting to give him plenty of weight off a mark of 150. Well, Monsieur Lecoq is now £10 lower, effectively, with the jockey's claim, back in a handicap, back on soft ground, back at Sandown. There's plenty to like. I think he's a good thing in this, what is a weak event for me. Guard Your Dreams for me, a mark of 128 looks really stiff. Friend or Foe has been raised £13 for a win in a poor race at Wincanton last time and first time cheek pieces. Totter Down is uncontrollable. Highway 102 is off a mark of 145. That looks stiff enough on the bare form of him. Ruacana is one of those horses that's probably going to pop up, but he's now 12 and it's probably not got much more to come. The Pinkton is off a mark of 139. I think that's stiff enough. And Zamperini's not been seen for 468 days. The one I am concerned about is Gemarand for Venetia Williams. He won well when last seen. Soaring Glory actually fell at the last flight that day, and that's what allowed him to go and win by 3 3/4 lengths. But the way he did it was quite impressive. I was quite taken with his performance. Mark of 122 doesn't look generous, but it looks about right. He could have a little bit more to come, but I think Monsieur Lecoq is the one to be on in here, and I think he can take all the beating in the 3:35. So he is going to be a fairly sizable bet, I would say, for me on this day. So fingers crossed for that one. Hope you've enjoyed that. If you've got any thoughts or thoughts on the races, etc., any tips for me, let me know. Pop them in the comments below. Thanks very much for taking the time to listen. Have a great start to the new year, and good luck.